One of the things he discovered, guy who worked with Shuman and helped him was this guy, Michael Persinger, who was a scientist. Persinger discovered that he discovered lots of fantastic stuff. One of the things he discovered was that there are these micro instabilities that can occur on the membrane of cells within your neurons, within your brain, and that when these instabilities occur, a particular kind of a psychiatric condition that's labeled as a parasitic consciousness can arise. Okay, and then they class a bunch of stuff into parasitic consciousness. But basically, it's sort of like a disease that you don't want to get. Now, Persinger also discovered that all of humanity is linked by the Shuman resonance, 7.8. Okay, the Shuman resonance exists because of the depth of the atmosphere between the Earth and the upper boundary of the ionosphere. If you change the depth of the atmosphere, such as moving the moon in place, you change the Shuman resonance. Okay, what I think of as the Earth resonant field. When you change this resonance, you change the mental state of humans. That we are as we are now because that resonance is at 7.83. And that is below 8 and above 4. And in that bound is the area where we find mystic experience, religious experience, hypnosis, meditation, sleep, dreaming, and fantasy. Above 8, it's all hippocampus, hard, declarative, rational thinking, blah, 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 blah. So maybe in the far distant past, we had a different Hertz level, and all of our great thinkers did not delve into fantasy. Now, if you were a space alien species, you know these kinds of things because you're coming from an ontological viewpoint, and you're going to just scope everything out from an ontological viewpoint, look from large down to small rather than started small, trying to see large. Thinkers did not delve into fantasy. Now, if you were a space alien species and you know these kind of things because you're coming from an ontological viewpoint and you're going to just scope everything out from an ontological viewpoint, look from large down to small rather than start at small trying to see large, which is the grit version, the Einstein version. But if you were a space alien and you knew this kind of thing, and you had problems with that pesky primate humanity down there, what might you do to alleviate your problems? I don't think Stephen Greer's correct that extreme unction is in our near future. I think the threat of it is certainly out there. How long it is between now and any kind of activation of that extreme unction is very indeterminate, but I think the space aliens will try a number of things. And I can think of at least 20 that have a real good possibility of working. And you would use some of these in combination. One of the things you might do would be to alter the Shuman resonance, kick us up over 8, or as many of us as possible up towards 8, so that we're thinking in a more rational mind. I'm saying the space aliens are not our enemies. They've just got a problem, which is the humanity. Okay, they don't want us to be buttheads anymore, right? So they want to fix the situation with as little damage to everybody as possible, because if you come from an ontological viewpoint, you know deep in your core the effects of the yoga, the binding, okay? So there's 4 kinds of yogas that humans have identified. Yoga, the word, everybody says means union. It does not. In Avestan, it meant binding. So karma is bound to you. You don't seek union with karma, right? And so the space aliens know the binding. They're not going to bind their karma to ours. It would be the last thing they would want to do, because they would bind their karma to ours at that point forever and ever. The guy who worked with Shuman and helped him